Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all keeping well. I'm really excited to be sharing this video with you all today. It is like my first process video for knitting a pair of socks. I am planning on knitting, she says, all the pairs of socks in this book. This is 52 Weeks of Socks by Lane Publishing. I bought it from Amazon. I can link it in the description box down below. But what I'm wanting to do is kind of like film a video for each pair of socks that I make using this book, and just sort of chatting about any problems or how things go. I'm a pretty new sock knitter. I've knitted a few basic pairs of socks over the last few months, but I just wanted to challenge myself with something a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I've picked up this book and I'm just gonna like do a random wheel generator to select a pair of socks. We're gonna work on that and just sort of, I'll give you my thoughts as we go. And then at the very end of it, I'll do my final thoughts. Now, slight disclaimer, I have lost the introduction footage for this video. I've got all the rest of it, but I do not know where the intro is. So I'm just filming the introduction now after the event, but we're still going to go through the whole process of selecting the sock. I do have the screen recording from when I used the Wheel of Names, which is the random generator I've used to select the socks. So I will be inserting that footage in a minute, but you'd have already seen from the thumbnail what sock we're going to be working on. So I'll just tell you a little bit about this. So yeah, there's 52 pairs of socks in here, and there's a real nice mixture of socks. There are just some like lots of nice like textured socks. There's some with bits of colour work in. I'm just trying to see, there's like some slipper socks, but like lots and lots of different styles. So I'm just hoping it's going to push me a little bit. And by using the random generator, I'm just hoping that way I can't just cherry pick the socks that I want to do. And I'm more likely to maybe try some more challenging types of socks. I've only ever knit cuff down before, so in here there are toe up socks, there's colourwork socks which I've never done, so there's all different sorts. So I'm hoping to really just develop some new skills, learn some new things along the way and see how I go. So yeah, this will be linked in the description below. I hope you enjoy my video. I'm going to pop over to the random generator now and we will see what pair of socks I'm going to be working on, and then we'll work through the socks and then I'll give my final thoughts at the end of the video, and we'll do the wheel generator for my next pair of socks to find out what I'm going to be working on next. Okay guys, I'll be back in 2 ticks. Here is the wheel. Let's get spinning it and see what we're going to be working on. Okay, so it is pair number 12 in the book, which is the LINEA sock. So here are the socks I'm going to be making. They look really, really nice. They are sort of like quite patterned, which the pattern itself doesn't intimidate me. I feel happy with that. But what is new with this pair is that they are a toe up sock. So I've never done a toe up sock before, so that's going to be really good. I have also joined a Facebook page. There's a Facebook group for 52 Weeks of Socks, and it seems a really good group. Now they do a monthly sort of like knit along. They just sort of, you can vote on a pair of socks to knit that month, like the next month, and then they work on that. So they've got quite a bit of knowledge on that group, and some of the socks may have already been done in the past, but they've also got some files on there, which is quite handy. I've printed them off, and basically they have got a thing where they've got all of the socks, and it tells you if the toe up, cuff down, like 4-ply, 2-ply, sport weight, double knit, what size needles you need, roughly how much wool you need. So it's quite a good little starting point if you just want to maybe think just do cuff down, or you want to choose toe up. They also have a list of erratas. So I've printed that off as well and just checked. So what it says here, so for sock number 12, so it says, yeah, it's the LINEA sock. It's on page 56, so that's quite good. It lets you know there It is a sock. It is toe up, 4-ply. You need 400 meters of yarn, 2.5mm needles, and it says in circular needles are what's recommended. And then looking at the erratas, there are no known erratas that have been picked up, which is good, especially with it being a book. So you just do check. I've checked on here. I've also checked on Ravelry because there's a Ravelry page, which I'll just pop a little screenshot here now from Ravelry, so you can look at other people's, see how they've got on, any tips that they've maybe given as well. So it's just good to do a little bit of background reading first. Anyway, yeah, this is my first toe-up sock. In the book, it's got 2 sizes. The foot length's adjustable, the cuff length is adjustable. The suggested yarn is, it says 1 skein of, oh my goodness, a lot of these like Scandinavian patterns, I think, but it says, I can't even say it. It's Venalmoinen by Loyhoitren Aula. Basically, it's a 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, and it says, and they've used a 2.5mm needle, and you also need a tapestry needle. And they've said to use Judy's Magic cast on or any other preferred method. So that's what we're going with. The yarn I am using is Drops Fable in the colorway Rust, and it is a 4-ply superwash sock yarn. Let me just get the label for it. So yeah, this is the yarn. It's quite rusticy. It's just like a single color. It's a superwash treated sock wool. It is, where are we? So 50 grams, has 205 meters, 224 yards, 75% wool, 25% polyamide. Now the yardage, it says suggested wool for this. So for 100 grams would be 440 yards, 402 meters. So this would come in at, so it'd be 410 meters. So it's pretty similar. 440 yards, that would be 448 yards. So very, very similar weight yarn. But yeah, this is what I'm choosing. Okay, I am gonna love you and leave you. Let's get into the video. I'll pop back at the end and I'll show you the finished socks and give you my final thoughts. To the greatest start. I've just had the biggest yarn bath ever. Never mind. I'm just wrapping it around very loosely. Don't worry, I'm not stretching the yarn. But yes, part 1, not going very good. Also, I realise I've got 16-inch, like 40cm needle, and for my magic loop I should have a larger one, so I've just ordered some, but I'm going to see if I can at least cast on to begin with this. Yeah, so far we're stumbling at the first block. So step 1 is Judy's Magic cast on or preferred method. So I'm going to do Turkish because apparently quite a few people have said that one is better. Okay, this is going to be the finished thing, but I did a thing. I have done my cast on. First time toe up cast on, first attempt, no problems. So I've used the Turkish cast on method and I've followed Andrea Mowry's tutorial. Really easy, I'll link it, but yeah, that's me. I've cast on, I've started. Woohoo! Hi guys, it's Thursday, so little quick update, I have done my toe of my sock. So yeah, it went okay really. You guys, can you let me know the ones that have sock knitters and done toe up? On here, on this pattern, obviously you've got your front and back needle. It's written for magic loop. Well, it's top and bottom or front and back, whatever. But the first stitch that I've you do your knit front, knit back, knit across to the last 2 stitches, then you knit front, knit back, and then knit the last stitch. But everything I've seen on YouTube, with all the other tutorials saying knit 1 stitch first and then do your increase, but on this pattern you increase on stitch 1. It looks okay, but I'm just sort of wondering, is that right? I'm not sure. And I think it's knitting up really well, considering I normally knit for myself on a 2.25 and this is a 2.5. It's got really nice stitch definition though, the Drops Fable, and really it does feel quite rusticy, but I quite like that. It feels like it's going to be a sturdy sock. It's made some nice fabric. So yeah, that's where we're up to. I'll be back later. So quick update on my sock and the cable situation. I was using the cabling without a cable needle method just because they're just single cables, either left or right. But the left leaning ones are just looking really scabby compared to the right. Can you see? So I am actually going to cable traditionally with like slipping it onto a needle to get a neater finish. But you can see there how lovely the right ones look compared to the left. I mean, it's just right at the beginning of the sock. So I'm going to just leave it, I think. However, yeah, we'll switch it over. But also these little ones should be a lot better defined as well on the side. Can you see there? It just looks a bit rubbish. So we shall see how this progresses. I mean, two minds are so that close to the beginning of the sock. So I just take it back. Maybe. It's one of these. I've not done very much of it. I could just start again. I don't know what to do. Let me know. It's been ages since I've been on to update you about this sock, and to be honest, I've just not really been working on it. I've been doing other projects. So it's going really well, and this is the pattern. I think it's a beautiful pattern, and this yarn's actually, I'm really pleased with the yarn choice actually. I think it shows the stitches really clearly. Using my sock ruler just to sort of measure the length of the sock before doing the gusset increases. I think I'm at the right stage now. I went to try it on, but because I've got this on 9-inch circulars, I actually can't get it over like the arch of my foot. I can get it on like the toe bit. So probably if you were doing magic loop or something, it would be easier if you want to try your sock on. So that's one tip I would give you so far. And so, or maybe even like a 10-inch needle. The 10-inch circulars might be a wee bit easier. I think like the Knit Pro Novas are 10-inch, but these are the Knit Pro Zing and they're 9. So that's one thing. I'm considering just to put a lifeline in case I make a mistake on the heel, like the gusset increases, and that way if my foot length is the wrong length, I can at least, if I do need to rip it back, I'll have a lifeline into the bit where I think I need it to be for the gusset increases. I mean, I can either do that or I can just treat this whole thing as a learning curve for toe-up socks, which it is. But yeah, it's going really, really well. I'm pleased I've got the sock ruler for sure. Another little thing I've done, and the pattern is really easy now to sort of memorize. You start to, it's a very simple one, even though it's a 32 row repeat. It's actually dead straightforward because it's just, you're only like cabling on alternate rows, and you can kind of just work, you can work out where you are. It's dead easy. Another thing, obviously, with the book is you've got, I don't want to show you it really, but you've got, let me just pop it a bit like that. You've got the chart to follow. And it's a bit cumbersome having the book. So what I did, I took a photo of the chart, I printed it out, and I've got this little magnetic board, which is for like knitting patterns or crochet patterns. And I got mine from Temu, but they are on Amazon as well. So I'll find one on Amazon and link it down below if you're interested. But this is great purely because you can just mark which row you're up to, and then just straight away you can just look at it and it's dead straightforward. So yeah, that's pretty good. There's a couple of these somewhere in the bottom of my bag, these little things to hold it on, but they stay on really, really nicely. So yeah, that's so handy. Oh god, this sun is really bright, sorry. Let me just pull that. Shouldn't be complaining about the sunshine, it's lovely. But yeah, so I'm just going to start the gusset increases. I'll let you know how that's going, but so far so good, no real hitches at all. So yeah, I'll be back later and I'll show you it as it goes. Then hopefully yeah, I'm gonna put the lifeline in actually. I'm just gonna, do you just thread a piece of spare yarn through it? I think you do. I'm going to have a look at a video how to add a lifeline, but for me, I think I'd just put a piece of thread in, or a piece of yarn all the way around, and so that way then if I drip it back, the yarn would act like a cable and hold it in place, I think. Is that right? I think that's right. I'll be back later and let you know. So I've just checked about how to add a lifeline, and it is super easy. It is as I thought. You can just get a tapestry needle and some spare yarn and then just sort of sew it through the stitches on your needle. Alternatively, if you've got interchangeable needles with the little hole in them, you can thread your thread through that and then just knit you round and it'll pull it through. Now I do have interchangeable needles, and they do have the hole in, so I will probably do that next sock. I maybe use them. I was just having a little look to see, but what I might do, I considered just switching these out to the interchangeables because I've got some shorties which I thought I could maybe do, but I'm going to just continue on with this for now. But I'm just gonna, I've got my needle here, and I've got, this is just like something that's just been cut off from one of my old socks because I keep all my bits of thread, all my bits of yarn, and so that's long enough to go around. So I'm just going to thread this through now. I'll show you what I'm doing so you can see, but it's like super easy. And then that way, if I do find out that the foot length is wrong, I can rip it back to before I started the heel and go from there. And whether I need to then like tink back a bit or knit a few extra rounds to make it a bit longer, I can do that. But at least it's good practice actually, and I thought it's something that you might not have all heard about. So yeah, let's get this in and see. Okay, I'm going to add my lifeline in. So I've just got a needle, got some scrap yarn from one of like a previous sock which I just kept. So let's just thread that. She says, what am I doing here? Okay, so I've got that threaded, and all I'm going to do, I'm just going to weave this through my stitches that are currently on my needle, taking care not to split the yarn. There, that's pretty straightforward actually. So this, we shall see. I just feel it's going to make me feel a wee bit more secure, just a bit happier. You can do quite a few stitches at the same time actually, especially once it's on the cable. Just make sure, as I say, you don't split them. I've got a needle that's not very sharp, which is ideal. So as you can see there, and I'm just pulling that through. So effectively it's acting like a little mini cable, so that if I do need to pull this all back later on, all my stitches are going to be caught. You can sort of see there both sides. Make sure I don't pull it out at the other end. I think it'd be interesting if I do the other sock. Well, I won't need to do this on the other sock because I should have known, I'll know the foot length if it's right or not. But I think this is going to be really handy if you get into a bit on any pattern, whether it's a sweater or whatever, and you're just not quite sure about the next bit, or you're worried that you're going to make a mistake, or it might need adjusting. I think if you've got a lifeline in, it's just a bit of a safety blanket, because I'm not one of these people that can pull a needle out, rip it back, and then just pick up the loops, and making sure that I'm not getting any of my stitches twisted or anything else. I'm finding this is easy if I just kind of run the needle along the cable as well. So yeah, this is the first time I've done this. So yeah, I just thought I'd share it with you. I'll come back once I've got to the end. But yeah, I found just here, just you can feel it along the edge of the cable, and that way you kind of know you're in the right place. But yeah, it looks like all the stitches are going on beautifully. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. So that's just what it looks like just before I pull the needle through. I'm just doing this one-handed so you get a better idea. And then, yeah, you just pull that through. She says, there we go. And then, so there, that is my lifeline all the way around. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I just need to take care next when I'm knitting this that I don't catch the lifeline when I'm knitting this next round. That's, I suppose, one thing that I need to be careful of. But at least I have got that safety net now. And at the end, once I finish, if I don't need it, then you just snip it and remove it. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully I'm not going to need this, but it's there if I do. I am a great overthinker. I was looking about doing the gusset increases. I thought I'll just check a couple of YouTube videos, and I did that. And it's just really weird because the pattern, because you've got like you make one left and make one right, but they seem to be on the opposite side to what all the tutorials are. So like on this one, so like you've got at the start of your row, it's where am I here? You know, I make one left and knit to the end, make one right. But on all the tutorials I've seen, they do make one right first and then make one left. So I don't know, but I'm just going to follow the pattern, do what it says, and otherwise I'm just going to sit here for ages. I just need to just knit it and probably trust the process. But yeah, I'm definitely overthinking this one a bit too much, I think. Little update on my sock. I have done the heel section. Like, wow, look at this. I am so happy. It's looking great. So it's a heel flap and gusset, but it's been done backwards to how I've ever done it before. And the lovely thing with this is you don't have, you're not worried about any gappy bits, or like normally when you do cuff down, you have to pick up the stitches, don't you? But for this, we're actually decreasing here. So there's literally no gaps. You've got nothing to pick up. It's so neat. I can see why people like toe-up socks. I don't know if it's going to fit me. I don't know if it might be a bit big. It's hard to tell. I can't get it on because it's only on short needles, and I'm not going to pop it onto other ones to try on. So I'm just going to go with it. But I just wanted to check in and say I'm really, really liking it. Plus the pattern has now picked up. I'm now doing the leg section, so I'm continuing this big diamond pattern up the front of the leg. But whereas on the foot it was stocking stitch, on the back of the leg it's now picked up a second chart of pattern to do this like continue these like little mini cables and twisted ribs, half twist rib sections. So that's really nice along the back. So I think this is going to look a lovely sock once it's finished. I'm really pleased with it, especially because it is my first toe-up one. But yeah, I have completed the heel, and so I'm very, very pleased with that. So I'll pop back when I've got any more updates on this sock. But so far, so good. I think it's going to be plain sailing. I'm going to just continue up the leg, and then I'll pop back on and give you an update just before we start the cuff, because it's got a patterned cuff as well. So if I stumble across any problems, I'll let you know. But I think it's going to be plain sailing now up the leg. So I'll be back in a wee bit. I thought I'd just give you a quick update on how my sock is going. So sock one is actually done with, oh heck, what am I doing? With the exception of binding off, casting off. So yeah, I've completed the leg section and the cuff, which like cuff is like really nice. I've never done a cuff that's got like pattern detail in the cuff. So it's kept the cabling going up, which is really nice. And then you're actually one stitch less for the cuff than the leg, purely because at the top of this little diamond that comes in together and then creates one stitch less just to keep the rib correct, which I think is really nice little detail. So I'm now at the dilemma of, it just says like bind off loosely in the book, and I've been wondering like what type of bind off should I do. I've seen a few of the finished socks online and things, and the cuff looks really baggy, and so I don't want to have like a baggy cuff. So I've popped a little post up on TikTok and also on the Facebook group for 52 weeks of socks, asking for advice for a bind off, and it's coming back to one of two bind offs that people have recommended. Did I just do like 3 fingers? But and people are saying either to do like the tubular, like a tubular bind off, like is it oh my gosh, I can't remember what it was now. Was it an Italian bind off? Anyway, a tubular bind off, which almost looks a bit like Kitchener. You're using a needle and you're having to sort of stitch purlwise on some, knitwise on the other, coming back from round and all this lot. And it does look like a Kitchener stitch, but in the round. So there's that tubular bind off, and then a few people have said like Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off as well. So I'm still a bit undecided what to do. I might try and do the tubular bind off. Never done that before, so it might be quite a nice learning thing. And would it be interesting maybe to do that one? And if I don't like it on the next sock, I could try the other one and see which kind of looks better. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm saying that by the time you see this, I'd have already made my mind up. So don't let me know what you think. But if you don't, let me know what you think for future. But yeah, it's coming on really, really nicely. And it is literally, as I say, done. So I think what I might do is take you upstairs to my craft room later, and we can have a little look at trying to do this tubular bind off and have a close-up look at that, because it's something very new to me. I've never done it before. And then hoping it fits. It is on a 2.5 needle, which I'm really pleased. It's obviously all that twisted rib, it feels quite tight, but I think it should fit quite well. It'll be quite a snug sock. But yay, that's where we're up to. That is your update. Bonjour. Ignore this, but let's try and position it so you don't think it's something on your screen. It's a bit better. Let's bring you down. Oh, it's still there. I could try and sit with my head here. Okay, there we go. Right, I am going to attempt this cast off. My husband's coughing his head off. I'm going to attempt this cast off on my sock. Now, I'm following a tubular bind off in the round without a jog. There is a YouTube tutorial and it is about knitting with Suzanne Bryan. Oh, she's got a lot of subscribers. I might need to subscribe to this lady's channel. This was suggested by Sheila, who has been giving lots of hints and tips anyway, sock knitting. So I'm going to give this a go and see. I've never done it before. And she said it's a little bit like Kitchener stitch, but in the round. And it's great for a cast off, to get a stretchy cast off for a sock. So I'm going to watch it. I will link it in the description box down below. I've got my sock all ready to go, because otherwise if I don't do it, it's just going to sit on my needles and I'm not going to cast on my second sock. So let's get this done. I'll film it, as I say, and show you what I'm doing. Hopefully it'll be okay. And we'll get the job done. So yeah, I'll link it down below, and I'll also link it in my Ravelry too. So thanks, Sheila, for suggesting it. If I hate it, I'll blame you. If I love it, I'll thank you. Okay, let's have a go and see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is going to kind of work on this angle. So I've got my thread here. I'm going to just work out how much I need to, yarn I need to leave. I don't know, do I need to do? I think I'm going to do a lifeline. Do I do a lifeline? I'm just really worried if this bind off isn't right. If I've got a lifeline, I can take it back. Right, hang on. Let me get a piece of wool, contrasting wool. Okay, I am getting the hang of this cast off. However, and it creates a lovely edge. But a couple of things I'm noticing. Number one, because this part of the pattern is twisted rib, half twisted rib. Because I did the first 4 rows of this, it kind of almost alternates it. Do you see? So, how I had I was doing like a knit one, slip one purl, knit one, slip one purlwise, and then alternate it. But it's kind of almost made the rib staggered. So I have a twisted rib here, but then from the slip stitches, it's knocked it off kilter, do you see? So almost like where the pearls were, it now looks like that's a twisted rib. So that's a bit of a bummer. I think really what I might do next time is knock it on. So like, I don't know, I feel like it should have been the other way. So I should have been purling above the knit stitches and then knitting above the pearls, and I think that would have made it look like it was in line, because now I feel like, yeah, this is a staggered rib. I mean, it might look quite nice when it's done. I don't know. The other thing is, I am not sure this is going to be stretchy enough. It might be. It's got a bit of give in it, but compared to the sock, which has a lot, this doesn't seem to have as much. So I'm wondering if I should have done Jenny's stretchy, surprisingly stretchy bind off rather than the tubular. I don't know. So I think when I get, I'm over halfway now and I'm committed. So I'm thinking before I get to the very end and finish it off, I will keep the thread attached. And in fact, yeah, I'll keep the thread attached and then I'll try it on. It looks like it's going to be quite an easy, especially if it goes over my heel. I haven't got massive feet, like wide feet particularly. However, I don't know how high my instep is really or anything like that. So I feel it's not stretchy like I wanted it to be. And I think in hindsight, yeah, Jenny's stretchy bind off might have been better than the tubular. Yeah, and I'm not sure it works really well for this pattern. And as I say, yeah, I'm just really sad that it's kind of, we'll see once that Lifeline's out, but I do think you can kind of tell what I mean. How I've got my twisted knits there, and then the rib is like where the pearl bump should have been. It's like just off kilter. That's made me so cross, especially because I went to the point, I made the point of making sure I had like a knit one, pearl one. But I suppose this is why you do these things and then you learn, and if I ever come up against this again. So what I could maybe do with the second sock actually is alternate it and just see if my theory is right. And then in future, if I've ever got a half twist rib and I want to do a bind off like this, then I'll know which way I need to do it. And yeah, I'll know one way or another, but I kind of think, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right. It's just so annoying. I hate toe up. It might not even fit my foot yet, but I mean, I've got to do a second sock yet. Right then, apparently that's it. I am not feeling hopeful. This looks little. Oh, I have been up here for ages. This is not going to go over my foot. I'm going to give it a go. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, ignore my feet. Ignore my craft room. I knew it. I actually knew it. I should have just stopped when I was doing it because, oh, what have I got here? Bit of thread. So I've still got my needle on and everything. Let's get that over there. Can't believe I'm showing my unpainted toe, well, my chipped toenails. Look, so I can't even check my foot length because I can get my foot on. So that feels fine. I just cannot get this over my heel. I knew it. So I need to do Jenny's stretchy bind off. Oh, so annoying. There's definitely enough width in the foot. Don't know what the foot length is like. I cannot get it there, and I'm not gonna risk knackering this. Oh, I'm so annoyed. I actually knew that wasn't going to be right. Okay. I hate this sock. Oh my goodness, guys, this sock is going to be the death of me. No way, Jose. So we're going to pick it out and take it down to the Lifeline. Thank goodness. I just knew it wasn't going to work. And we're going to do Jenny's stretchy bind off. And we're going to go from there. So I don't know how easy this is going to come out because obviously it's all stitched. I'm going to have to probably pull this out bit by bit. What I do know is I've got way too much yarn. So I'm scared to cut too much off. But equally, there's like way loads to have to pick out there. Let me just check how many prep rows I need to do for Jenny's stretchy bind off. I think it might have just been one. If that's the case, because I've got so many extra things there, I'm going to snip this shorter so I've got less to pull out. So I hate it. It's going to be a great sock when it's finished. But I now know I cannot do that tubular bind off. I should have maybe done like the Icelandic. I think I was just worried it was going to be so baggy. I should have just ignored that and just done a normal bind off. But yeah, I'm going to do Jenny's stretchy one. And yeah, that's what these videos are for. They're to share my experiences with you all so that hopefully when you come to do this sock, if you find my video before you make this sock, hopefully this will be helpful for you. Okay, I'll be back later. I was going to take it back to the Lifeline, have a little look, see what we think, and go from there. But because, yeah, I don't need to do all those extra 4 setup rows, I'm going to snip off some of this excess yarn so I've got less to pull through. There we go. And God, what I've honestly, this has taken me a couple of hours. It's taken so long. I think this is going to be an absolute pig. Let me get my magnifier down here. I'm going to make sure that I do not ruin this. I think it's going to have to just literally be a case of, yeah, it's going to be a case of just pulling it through as we go and working back. And good, it's going to take a while, but it'll be worth it. And this is just, yeah, it's all part of the learning process. I'm not mad, it's just annoying. And at least we've got that lifeline in, so obviously we're going to have live stitches here, but it doesn't really matter. Tempted to blooming cut it. I'm not that brave. Oh, so just trying to finding a bit to be able to pick up, see where it is. Oh, there we go. As I go, it'll probably become easier and easier. Okay, it's fine. I've picked out the first bit, pulling through, but guys, I think somebody now loves me because I think, oh yes, we're now at this, we can do this. Oh, of course, because it was only one row bind off, door, and the rest was all the setting up. I thought it was going to take me absolutely ages. Hello, Lifeline, are you there? Lifeline, my little life. That's it. We're back at the Lifeline. Thank the Lord. Yay! I've just had an idea. Whilst I've got this Lifeline, why don't I try the sock on to see if it fits? What I am going to do, not that I'm checking, I am going to tie my Lifeline knots, my Lifeline ends, in a little knot, just so they can't come off. Because that would be the worst thing if whilst trying my sock on, just because I was being nosy, I then lost my Lifeline. So I've just knotted it there. So that's given it a really good bit of stretch. Let's see if it fits. I'm looking for a tripod. See, I've got a tripod up here. We'll just have to try and angle you around. I just want to know if it fits. I'm going to just, actually, I'll put my foot up here. Just bring you down. Make sure my address isn't anywhere. Okay, let's bring you down. Oh, can we do this? Let me angle you down. Oh, I've got my articulating arm. I don't want to drop you. You might drop down. Oh, it's a daisy. Are you there? Hello? We dropped you on the floor. Let's angle you there. Okay, we've locked you in position. We're going to get, oh my God, we're doing it again. I'm getting my chipped toenails out. Let's see. Number one, if we can, right, okay, it's going to go on. Brilliant. Is the foot too big? Oh my gosh, guys, it actually fits. Oh my God, do you know what? This feels better than my cuff down socks. Wow. Okay, and I'm just going to cast it off. It's going to be all right. We'll just cast it off like it is. And if it's a bit fluted, it doesn't matter because it's on. Guys, look. I mean, it maybe feels a wee bit. Does it feel a little bit loose? I don't know. If it stretches, then I wonder if I could maybe I wonder if maybe it could have done with maybe a couple, just maybe 5 rows less. Potentially. Having said that, it's pretty comfy. This heel is fantastic. It honestly feels my most comfortable sock I've made. We can take this little pin out now. We can take these markers out. We don't need these anymore. But it goes on. It fits. I think it's just slightly long in the leg. In the foot, sorry. I think it's just slightly long in the leg, but it is a lovely feeling sock. And the heel feels nice. But yeah, I think it's maybe just a wee bit long. Maybe like literally just 5 rows, maybe not even that. Yeah, I mean, but it's not bad. At least it goes on. Okay, I'm going to get on now and make a really stretchy cast off. Because, I mean, that goes over. It does go over my heel nicely. But I don't want it to be really much tighter. So if it ends up fluted like that, when it was on my leg, it looked okay, didn't it? So we shall see how it goes, but at least I know. Are you there? Let's bring you up. At least I know. Don't fall over. Just going to try and angle you up. At least I know it fits, which is amazing. Okay, I'm going to just leave that. I'm going to pick it back up when I get back from my little shopping trip. Going to Glasgow for a couple of days. I don't feel so down. I'm really pleased I've done that because I was getting a bit like, So, excellent. All right, we are back upstairs. Now you might hear a bit of rattling and things because we've got solar panels on our roof and the wind is really getting up. So yeah, you might just hear that rattling about. Okay, so I've got my stitches are like on hold on my Lifeline, which is amazing. Here is like the last stitch of the round. There's my yarns coming out. Obviously this will be my first stitch. So all I'm going to do, I've got my little needle here, 2.5. I am going to pick up my stitches first of all, just kind of getting them all back on the needle so I can start working again, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be back in 2 ticks, but like this is literally all I'm going to be doing like that. It's just picking them up. That's why Lifeline is amazing. Yeah, so you don't lose any stitches. So back in 2 ticks. Okay, so let's see if this bind off is going to be what I need it to be for this actual sock. So depending on whether you're knitting or purling the stitches, depends on how you bring the yarn. So you basically do like a yarn over, from what I can see. So when it's a knit stitch, it's like a backwards one. So it comes over and back out the back, and then you knit. And when it's like a purl stitch, it goes from the front, excuse my Lifeline, it's from the front, and then it'd be coming round that away, and then you do your purl. So we shall see, but it looks pretty straightforward, she says. And so it's coming from the back. Let's give it a go. Really stretchy. Whether it's going to look baggy, gapey, I don't know. However, as long as it goes on my foot, that's all I'm worried about. So yeah, so far so good. It's not looking too bad. Obviously I've got my Lifeline in here, so this is going to look a bit strange with these stitches, and because it being twisted, I do wonder when I went to knit it, should I have knit them in the back stitch, so any through the back of the loop, you know, from a bind off. Do let me know if that would have been better or not. As I say, I've got no idea. I'm a complete and utter novice. However, I'm happy that it's kind of coming on okay. I think it's looking all right, and at the end of the day, if I've got a sock that fits, that's all I'm bothered about. So yeah, I'm going to just continue on. I'm getting on okay, nearly halfway around. It's going all right, guys. It's going okay. I think I've just been filming this in portraits of the landscape, but yeah, so I've just cast off. This will now be this will get attached onto here. I'll show you how I'm going to do that to make it look nice and neat. I think this should go on. It seems stretchy. It seems stretchy. This looks like a success. Let me just pop it on. This is really nerve-wracking. Let's take the sock off. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Okay. I think we're in business. I have shaved my legs, not painted my toenails. It goes on. Now it is a bit baggy, although it's all right, guys. I've got my sock on. Yes. So, oh, that is such a comfy sock. I do think it maybe is just a couple of rows. I reckon that many rows, it could have just done with that many reducing, so maybe about 5 rows less. But it feels very comfy and it goes on. Hurrah, hurrah. What a pretty sock. What a pretty sock. Right, I'm going to go get the blocker. Actually, let's just pop this in. I'm going to make some Ravelry notes as well. We're going to take the lifelines out. Oh my God, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Look at this. Isn't that a pretty sock? It looks so much nicer with the lifelines out. Like, look at the back. The cable design is lovely. This heel fits gorgeous, but it does feel a little bit big in the leg, slightly big, but it's just going to be like a cozy boot sock maybe. It feels great. I hope you're not totally distracted by my very messy room. It feels great. Let's get this out. We can have a better look. Guys, what a drama. Sock 1 finished. We're going to just get rid of the lifelines. I'm going to sew this end just to tidy that up so it connects nicely and neatly. Where are we? So you can kind of see there, that'll just come into there. It'll look beautiful. But yes, oh, I'm so happy it is done. Thank goodness. This second sock is definitely knitting up much quicker than the first, and I think I'm going to have this done in no time. I'm really happy with how it's coming on. I've been working on my sock, and I've actually just finished the increases for the heel. So the next bit now is going to be like turning the heel, coming back in, then I'll just be working up the leg. I actually won't have that much to do with this, I don't think. It's coming on really well. So yeah, that's coming okay. I actually did one little mistake on it further back. You can't really tell too much, although I can actually see it because I know, and it's on the cable-y bit here. I actually did a knit stitch and I couldn't like correct it. However, I'm not too worried. It's just for me. It'll be on my foot and in my sock, but it's coming on okay. So yeah, I'm just about to come back up the heels. I've done my heel increases and that's super easy. So we're just doing some short rows now around there. So I would like to get, possibly, if I can, maybe the other side of the heel done maybe today. Yeah, I have been enjoying this a lot and it is coming on nicely. It hasn't been as stressful as the first sock. I am on the final bit with the sock now. Yeah, I'm making good progress. I'm really happy with this. It'll be soon be done. So where were we? Where did we be? Oh, we were up to there, weren't we? Just on the heel. So I've got my heel flap done. Heel's totally finished. Up the leg. We're now onto the final diamond. That's Glenn just onto the final diamond pattern. So altogether there are 3 diamond patterns on the sock. So I've got 2 on the foot, 1 up round the front of the ankle, and I've just got literally 1 more to do. So that is definitely going to be finished very soon. I did make a bit of a mistake on this. I'll show you the other way. Right, I'm going to try and show you. I've made a bit of a mistake, and you do like your short rows here, and just to sort of get this kind of shape going on, and you sort of start then picking up the stitches that are on hold to then create the flap. But for some reason I ended up with more on this side than this side, so I'm not sure what really happened. So if you look closely, I'm not that precious about it, but you can see here how this comes to your point here. That's like the first stitch of the front needle. These are the back needles. Excuse my nail. I broke my nail and the gel came off. It's getting done again today. But so you can see how this comes like this, and then from that pearl twisted, this is the back needles. But then on this side, and I knew this, I made sure I said the correct amount of stitches. I don't know, it just, you can see here it doesn't quite come in. I don't know if it's really obvious. It's not obvious. The actual stitch count's correct, and that's what I went with, but for some reason I ended up off kilter. Yeah, I had my double stitches, 1 more double stitch on my right side than my left, so I'm not sure what I did, but My other one, I checked my first sock and that's correct. So I think I just probably got distracted and missed something out, or I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is. Sometimes bits in this pattern aren't the clearest, I have to say that. But I'm just making excuses, but I'm nearly done. The point is, I'm now on the home stretch. I've started my final diamond. It'll be done before we know it. Glenn's in the background making loads of noise because he only ever does something like that when I'm recording. Glenn! Okay, marital bliss. There we are. I have almost finished this sock. Hooray, hooray. I'm on my last row of the pattern bit, and then I will decrease one stitch here and then do the cuff. But I wish I'd filmed this bit. I need to remember now just to vlog these bits a bit more. I was just doing this little cable bit here on the last round, which was like an actual pattern bit, and I noticed that for the last couple of these, both of these were going the same way. So instead of going out, in, they were sort of going on a swirl. Do you know what I mean? They were both facing the same way. And I was just like, oh, I can't tink it back. So what, and it literally was about, I think it was about 3 lots. So what I did, I dropped these, it was on this, the right hand cable of the pattern. And so I dropped the 2 stitches and I just dropped them all the way back here, and I got 2 crochet hooks, picked up the stitches, and then I kind of picked up each knit stitch, and then if it was like a cable bit, I crossed them and picked them up that way, then crossed them and picked them up. And actually it's probably not perfect, but I think it's pretty decent, and I wish I'd filmed it. I'm really proud of myself. I don't know if it was the right thing to do or not, but it kind of looks all right now. And unless you look really closely, I don't think you'd even notice. So yeah, I'm really happy. I think it went down to about here. You can just see if you look really, where is it? If you look really closely on one of them, it just looks a bit funny. I think it's here when I started it. But honestly, I'm quite happy with it. It worked out really well. So yeah, I just got two really fine crochet hooks, like this. And I just literally, it was like, where are we? Hang on. There it is. So I had 2, and then I do it, then I cross them and pick up and then cross them back and then cross them. And then, yeah, it's worked out. I'm really happy. So I'm really pleased. I'm just like focusing on one thing at a time. As I say now, I've literally just got one more row of the leg, and then it's just going to be the cuff. And then we're nearly there. Hooray. But yay me. Phew, I'm really pleased I fixed it. But yeah, next time if I do something like that, I need to just film the process. But yeah, I was just a wee bit panicked. I was like, oh my God. But I'm glad I fixed it. You can't even tell just looking at that. It looks great. It worked. But yeah, if I shared it, if someone else had done the same mistake, whether or not it was the correct way to fix it, it has worked. So it might have been useful to someone. So yeah, in future, I shall document everything that I do. Okay, so here's the finished sock. I've got one on the sock blocker this way, and then I've got one on the sock ruler this way, so you can see what it looks like. So you can still see where my lifeline was. I haven't blocked these yet, but it's okay. And I actually haven't sewn my ends in yet either, but it doesn't matter. They are finished. So I actually really love the pattern. I think it is a beautiful looking pattern. I think it's pretty beginner friendly. If you've not done any little cables or anything, or used the charts were very, very clear. The pattern itself, the written pattern, I think sometimes like they're translated into English, and there was just a little bit where I thought it was a bit on the short road thing. You just have to read it all and just make sure you know exactly what you're doing before you do it. So read that full section in the book first. Make sure you understand it and then do it. But I didn't really have any real problems at all. I am so pleased with how the heel part has turned out. I just think it's just brilliant. Not having to pick up stitches is fantastic. You do like your short row shaping. Now on sock number 2, for some reason, I think I did mention this, I got a bit muddled up, and I'm not sure why. I had uneven numbers, but having said that, I think I did put it down overnight partway through rather than finishing the whole lot. So whether I had made a mistake, you know, maybe hadn't completed something fully, I'm not sure. But I just continued on with it anyway, regardless, and I wasn't too concerned about it. So I think this yarn is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's the Drops Fable. I think the stitch definition is beautiful. I think it's nice in a plain colour. I think I've chosen the right yarn for it, and it just feels super rustic. I love this, the back of the leg. I think it's beautiful, and you could even do a full sock in that. I think it'd be lovely. So I reckon you could maybe use this pattern and just maybe pop it into like a vanilla sock recipe or something, and just use it as if you wanted to just sort of just do this bit. I think it's really pretty, but the diamonds look gorgeous. I'm so happy with them. So yeah, I'm gonna just, yeah, I mean, I just say give it a go. So yeah, this is number 12 in the book. I'm going to just pop them on my feet now so we can have a little look at them. And then we will get the Wheel of Names, get the random generator, and select the next sock that I'm going to be working on. I'm really excited. It is so long ago since I started this, and I'm just really keen to get another sock done. So hopefully it's not going to take as long. And then these videos, I mean, if I can try and get one a month up, it'd be great. Because obviously I'm working on other projects as well. But let me know what you think about these. Let me pop them on. Okay, so here they are on. They fit, they feel very comfortable, but I do think I could maybe have done size 1. I did do this the bigger size. It just, they feel a little bit baggy on the leg, so I do think I could have gone down and done the smallest size. I was wondering whether I could have, if the length should have been like my foot length, if I should have done it a bit less. But having said that, they feel very comfortable on the foot, and I think had I, did I have, well, I can't speak, if I had a little bit more negative ease, they'd be a bit more comfortable. So I think if I was to knit them again, I would try them in the size down. But they are a beautiful looking sock, I can't deny that, and it's my very first pair of taupe socks, so I'm extremely proud. I think they look great. I really do. I'm really happy. Like the back of the leg is really nice. Not too baggy here. At least I can get them on, because I know that sometimes people have problems with toe-up socks. But yeah, I do think maybe I should have knit it a size down. I don't know if they will grow or shrink when blocked, but we'll see. But often they can get a bit baggy, can't they, when you wear them? So yeah, maybe my mistake. I should have done a smaller size, but I'm delighted. Okay, let's just get back and get the random generator and get the next pair. I wonder what we're going to be working on. But yeah, I'm so happy. I'm still like a novice knitter, so I am absolutely thrilled. They look great, don't they? I'm really happy. Okay, I have just opened, I know, I've had to check I've been on holiday and my iPad's flat, so I've just got it charging at the moment, but I've got it here. I'm going to do a screen recording as well, so I can insert it here, but also I can do it for the start of my next video. So let me just do a screen recording. Right, that is recording, so let's find out. I'm so nervous which sock we're going to be working on next. Off it goes. You can find out first. It stopped. I'm so anxious. What is it? Okay, number 25. Right then, let me stop recording this and let's go find out what it's going to be. We'll find out together. So that screen recording's done. So yes, sock number 25. In fact, before we do it, let's have a look on here and it will tell us if it's a toe up or cuff down before we actually look at it. It's just teasers. 25. It's called the Lotte. It is a sock. It's cuff down in 4-ply. Okay, lovely. Circular or DPNs. Oh, it looks like it might be a colour work one. It says 2-3 skeins of 50 grams, main colour, and 2 small amounts of 2 colours. I've never done a colour work sock. I've never done colour work anything. Okay, 25. What are you? What are you? Where is it? Oh, what page is it on? That'll be helpful. 122. Okay. I'm quite anxious. I will also pop the a picture up from Ravelry, which might make it easier. The Lottie sock, where are we? Oh, this is actually a good introduction to colour work. I'm liking it. Here we go. So we've got, so it just looks like a double cuff. We've got a bit of colour work at the top, and then just like a little bit of lace work and texture on the top of the foot. In fact, is it just on the edge? But we'll talk about this more in the next sock. No point talking about it now. That's the next video. But this is the sock, the Lottie. Let me get it there. And I'll do a little split screen as well. So no, I'm excited for that. So that's it. So make sure you pop back and see how we're getting on, and it'll feature in my weekly craft vlogs as well, little bits as we go. But there will be again another video solely based on this sock, and I'll just share things as I go. I don't think this one's going to be too bad, she says. I don't think it's going to be too bad. I feel like it's quite familiar for me. So exciting for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. I'll see you all in the next video. Mwah! Bye for now.